Hey everyone, and welcome back to Spirituality with Gabriella. So today we're doing a pick a card reading with these beautiful piles that we have here. And the reading today is about where you will be 1 year from now. If you're trying to understand 1 year from today, where you're going to be, how your career is going to look, how your love life is going to look, how family things are going to look, health, I'm going to be asking about all of that today, and I will try and get as clear, accurate, and specific messages as possible. This is always what I ask for. I hope that you're all doing very, very well and that you're happy, healthy, that 2021 is off to a great start for you. And without further ado, I'm now going to introduce these 3 piles. Over here we have pile 1 with the clear quartz. Pile 2 with the amethyst. And then we have pile 3 with the citrine cluster. So take a second and turn your thoughts and your intuition inwards. And then once you find the pile that speaks most to you, you can fast forward using the timestamps below and get your own personal reading. And I will see you there. Thank you so much. Okay, pile 1. So I have your cards here and I'm just going to shuffle them and see what comes through. So let's find out where you'll be 1 year from now. Okay, and I also have the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck with me today. And I'm going to pull a few cards here about love in particular, just to see what comes through. So asking where you'll be 1 year from now. Okay. All right, so I'm going to get to those in just a second. Let's start out here. So the first card you have is the Hierophant, and this is a really good sign in the sense that the Hierophant is all about mostly your career, teaching, growing, learning, really honing a practice. And I feel like a lot of you are becoming masters at whatever your practice is. Whether that is art, spirituality, creativity, organizational things, financial things, it can be any of that. It feels like a year from now, you will have become really, really good at something and really confident in your abilities. So I feel like today, some of us, and it's very normal, are feeling like, okay, well, you know, I'm good at what I do, but I'm not necessarily amazing at it, or maybe I don't have full confidence in myself, even if I am amazing. But I feel like 1 year from now, you are actually the teacher. You are the person who is consulting, mentoring, helping other people. And the way you do this is through your knowledge and through your wisdom. So I feel like career is going to be a huge focus for you this year in 2021, and then by next year, January 2022, you will have really mastered something. This is the first thing that I'm getting. Because of that, this has a dual meaning here. So 3 of Pentacles is an awesome sign. This means that you are teaching, you are growing, you are learning. Now, whereas the Hierophant is you are the teacher, the 3 of Pentacles is more that you are the student. And so the more we learn, the more we also understand what we don't know yet and what we still need to uncover. And so I feel like the 3 of Pentacles here is telling you, you are going to be tasked with some kind of vocation, some kind of project, and you are really going to have to ramp up the learning. And so I feel like over this next year, as you prepare for this, the most important thing to do is have the space and the time to really be able to hone in on that craft. You know, make sure that you have mental space for it. You need those aha moments, you need that in-between time. You are meant to teach, you are meant to help others, you are meant to convey knowledge. This is something that your soul has come onto this earth to do, is to share knowledge and share wisdom with others. So this is something to hold on to over the course of this upcoming year as well. When we have the Ace of Wands here, I should have said it at the beginning, but this pile is extremely successful. We are seeing success in career, we're seeing huge recognition, we are seeing someone who is really at the pinnacle or the epitome of excellence. And I feel like in your company, in your organization, even if you have your own business, whatever it is that you're doing, you are being very, very successful at it. People look to you for mentoring, they look to you for guidance, they also look to you for ideas. The Ace of Wands is someone who's very innovative, they have the vision, they're very forward thinking, and they're willing to help others. And if you look at this closely, the interesting thing here is that this wand, it's made out of all of these natural materials, and to me this is symbolizing that you don't need to necessarily go externally to find this wisdom. It's something that sits within you, and it's something that comes to you naturally. But the second you use this wand, just like these beautiful clouds are coming out of it, you are helping others have an impact, you're helping others have a voice, and you're helping to uplift people. So you're like this magic hand here, and everyone else is what's being affected by your presence. And so one thing I'd like you all to remember is sometimes even your very presence is the thing that motivates other people to grow, to learn, to prosper. And, you know, that presence it's worth its weight in gold. You know, it's so much more important than even you might think it is. And sometimes you might feel like, oh, I'm just sitting on this call, or I'm in this meeting, or whatever it is you're doing, and I'm kind of bored. Well, your presence is helping to inspire and motivate a lot of people. And when we get the Hierophant, this is typically what this means. Some of you have a career in public speaking, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get up on a stage and speak in that way, but it can mean, for example, that you have a following, that you have people who follow you, people who gravitate towards you. Your energy is the type of energy where people easily feel inspired by you. And so a year from now, I think whatever it is that you're working on in your career, it's rising. The foundation is 100% there, and you are teaching, growing, helping other people. This is really, really cool. We also have the Wheel of Fortune here. And I actually like this card because the Wheel of Fortune to me is a very mystical card. It's the kind of card where you know there's going to be a change. You don't necessarily know exactly what that change is going to hold for you. But I feel like this is positive. I feel like this is transformational change, and I feel like a year from now you have more autonomy in terms of your career decisions. Some of you might decide to spin off of what you're doing with a company and create your own business. Some of you might decide to, you know, have vision and step up and be a leader within your company. Some of you might decide to withdraw and do your own thing. And to be perfectly honest, it's going to change depending on who is listening to this. But what I want you to look at is you have these four symbols here. You have this woman, this bull, this lion, this eagle. And what the Wheel of Fortune is saying is that you have access to all of these things at whatever time you wish. So what I can tell you is there is going to be a change. Whatever it is you're doing now, however you're operating in your career today, it will not be the same a year from now. That could be a new job, it could be a new opportunity, it could be a new investment, it could be even deciding that you don't want to do your own company if you have one today. It could be throwing something away, but whatever that is, it's positive, it's successful because you have the Ace of Wands next to it. So this is very, very positive stuff. Now there are three cards here that are encouraging you to look within. Every single one of these cards is about looking within. And one thing that I'm feeling called to say is, in order to teach others and in order to help grow others, you also need to look within. You need to make sure that you truly understand yourself. And one thing to think about here is when you see the swan, you see how the swan is a reflection of herself. You have an external personality and you also have an internal personality. And it's very important that these two are aligned. There's a lot of pressure. If, for example, you are building a following, building a community, getting investment money, that type of stuff, there's a lot of pressure to be someone externally, and internally you might feel kind of like not as confident or like you have imposter syndrome. But over this next year, I feel you're really working on your identity. You're becoming more sure of yourself, and these two are aligning. And so just keep focusing on that. And the only way to do it is keep talking yourself up. Keep telling yourself that you deserve to be confident, you deserve to be successful. You are already everything that you need to be, honestly. And now you just need to go out there, share it with the world. The world is going to love everything that you share, and you will become the reflection of the external personality, because that confidence will just keep growing and growing. I'm going to skip this one for 1 second. So with the crocodile here, the crocodile can symbolize a little bit of a delay or a little bit of stagnation. To me, it's not so much stagnation, it's actually reflection. So these two are going really nicely together. The funny thing is sometimes the crocodile eats a swan, but we're not going to think about it that way today. The crocodile is lurking, it's reflective, it's thinking about everything that it has accomplished. And so I feel like 1 year from now, in terms of business, you will be much more mature. In terms of your business dealings, in terms of what you're involved with, you're able to approach it with a kind of distance. It's almost like you're an external force looking in, and you're able to do that. And I actually think this also applies to your relationship. So we're going to talk about that in just a second with these love cards here. But what I can tell you, which is very, very positive, is this whole next year is a year of transformation. This year is kind of like you're the caterpillar and you are shedding that cocoon or that skin that you've been wearing. And the next year is the year where you really fly and you are the butterfly. And there are no reins holding you back. There's nothing holding you back. I feel like this year currently, there are a couple things that you need to shake off. Influences that feel a little bit heavy. So just feel okay with doing that. Know that it's okay to leave stuff behind. And then once you do that, this is who you're becoming. One thing about this card is the Hierophant is kind of like an angel. The Hierophant is someone who typically does things with structure, with order. But look at this card. I don't know what these are meant to be, but they look like wings. These are like clouds. And you are like an angelic force or spirit for those around you. And so you'll continue to be this person, but you're going to be this type of person more visibly. For some of you, this is fame. For some, it is fortune. It is social media following. It's huge stuff. It's also leadership. So you are becoming a leader over this next year very, very visibly. Let's get into your love cards now. So first we have this Six of Pentacles. What I'm going to say is it feels like someone is attracted to you because of your heart. It feels like they know that you have a very good heart, that you're a very giving person. And so I feel like there are definitely potential relationships within this year. And I think it could even be 2 or 3, actually. Of course, it depends who's listening. But I feel like other people admire you because you have a very kind heart. The only thing I'm going to say is I think for some reason it causes some anxiety, and this is a reminder to trust your intuition. It's very important to go with people where there is a natural bond from the beginning. It feels like the person that you're meant to be with is someone who attracts you from the get-go. And I'm not necessarily talking about physically, I'm more talking about energetically. But one positive thing is I actually do see you being with someone. I feel like you do have someone next to you, kind of like this wolf has someone next to them. And together you go on this spiritual journey and this eye awakening journey. One thing to know, and I'm just going to say this, it doesn't apply to all of you, it applies to a couple of you. There will be 2 or 3 relationships, and it's almost like you have one and it doesn't work out, and maybe it's the second one or the third one that works out. So over this coming year, I think that there are relationship opportunities for you, but I feel like the first one is not necessarily the one that lasts forever. Take it with a grain of salt. It's going to be different per person, but this is where some of the anxiety of the moon comes from, is knowing that you are a really giving person, but that person you're with isn't necessarily the forever person for you. So be willing to find the second or third person who is actually that person for you. And here, this is a very different energy. To me, this is like, usually this is like staving off conflict or people who are like looking towards you. In this specific sense, I'm getting that some people are jealous of you and some people want to be in a relationship with you, but you don't necessarily want to be in a relationship with them. Kind of like the feeling you get where someone has a best friend who really, really likes them, but you're kind of just like, I just want you to be my best friend. That's it. Nothing else, you know? So I'm just going to ask for one more card. Anything I need to leave you with? Oh my gosh. For some reason, I knew it was going to be positive. That's why I felt called to pull it. So here you have the 10 of Cups. So I want you to know, in love life and also in your career, by January 2022, you are successful. You have found your partner. It's this year that is going to be a little annoying for you because you're just going to have to figure out who it is. But that's okay. I feel like you've found your partner and you have been very, very happy, very, very successful, and also financially abundant. I feel like money is coming to you, especially in terms of this leadership stuff that you have going on here. So for a lot of you, this is with a corporate organization and this is a promotion. This is recognition. This is people learning and growing from you. So I'm really happy for you all. And just keep working hard this year. Keep focusing on your skills. You're going to do an amazing job. And I hope that this reading gave you some clarity and guidance today. If you have any questions, if you would like a personal reading, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. You can also always book readings using the links in my YouTube banner. And if this resonated with you today, please don't forget, give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, share it if you feel so inclined. And every single person we share with spreads love and light, and that is what our world needs. So let's keep spreading that positivity to every single soul out there. All right, love you guys so much. Thank you, and have a great day. All right, pile 2, welcome to your reading. So I have your cards here in my hand, and I'm going to shuffle them, see what comes through so that we can find out where you are 1 year from now. I want this one too. Okay. And I'm going to pull a couple more cards here. Okay, so I'm going to start with some of these and let's talk through these. And I'm just going to share any messages that I'm getting off the bat. The first thing I'm getting, I was very drawn to pull both of these cards because they actually speak to each other. One thing I'm getting is that currently in your life right now, it feels like there's something that is holding you back. I know that's a bit of a weird way to say it, but when we see the devil, this is someone who kind of chains themselves, or they are held back by something or someone. This could be an influence in your life. This could be a job. This could be other people's expectations, which are just super unrealistic. Whatever it is, it's very important that this year is the year that you release it. What I'm getting is that this year is like the year where you cut the cord, and then from then on, you are free. It's not going to be easy, but you already know what it is. Like, as I'm talking about it, whatever comes to mind is the thing that you need to rid yourself of. For some of you, it's a job. For some of you, it is a relationship. For some of you, it is even a relationship with a boss, a colleague, coworker, that type of thing. And of course, it's easier said than done, but if you have not stood up to this yet, if you haven't faced it straight on, you know, this is the year that you have to do it. And like I said, it's not going to be easy, but once you do that, look at what is coming for you. You have the Ace of Cups, you also have the Queen of Pentacles, and you have the Knight of Wands all in this section here. The Ace of Cups is huge success. We are talking about feeling completely fulfilled. We're talking about a new career destination, a new relationship, whichever one it is that calls to you more, because I'm getting it's something for some people, other things for other people. This is extremely fulfilling, and this is honestly right on your doorstep. I feel like this situation is working itself out within the next 3 to 4 months, max, maybe even earlier, and the Ace of Cups is coming straight after it. So this is something to look forward to. 1 year from now, you are going to be hugely successful because you will have freed yourself of this thing. And the other thing I want to say is that a year from now, I feel that you trust your intuition a lot more than you do today. Like, you're the type of people who have gut feelings, and you're very spiritual people, but sometimes I think you ignore them, or you just think, I'm not so sure. It's very important not to ignore them because your gut feelings are extremely accurate. They are extremely specific too. And so hold on to those and know that you're right, because when you have those gut feelings, it's actually a sign that you're going in the right direction. It also helps to create the motion here that you need in order to escape this situation. Let's get rid of the devil. We don't need to look at him. Okay, so I'm going to move to these. A year from now, you're actually in a very solid place. I think both in relationship and in career. This Queen of Pentacles card does typically symbolize financial things, symbolizes abundance, it symbolizes maturation. And so I feel like emotionally, spiritually, mentally, a year from now, you are going to have more mental space and more clarity than you do today, which is really, really good. And for a lot of you, this manifests in having a very stable partner, someone who is by your side, who is trustworthy, loyal, amazing, someone you can really count on. For others of you, if you already have that, for example, or if you are not quite looking for that yet, I feel this is a very stable business. A business that supports you, a business that recognizes your value. I feel like you are with the right people a year from now, and so it feels that you have the right network and you have the right community. I think there's going to be a lot of motion between now and then though, so honestly buckle up your seatbelt because I think a lot of stuff is going to change for you. If you are working at a corporate organization or career, kind of feels like that might shift. It's not necessarily that you leave that job, it's that there's a lot of motion. There's a lot of stuff that's moving. There are restructuring, there's reorganization. Sometimes some of you actually choose to leave your job entirely for a new company, I think. Whatever it is, there's a lot of motion, there's a lot of movement, and this is very positive because this gives you more freedom. This gives you more stability emotionally, financially, spiritually. Here we have the King of Cups. And when we see the King of Cups, this is someone who is a ruler of emotions, who really understands what they're doing. They have a unique perspective of looking into the future. And it's actually pretty amazing that you have the Queen of Pentacles here and the King of Cups here, as well as the Ace of Cups, because you have both that King and Queen energy, which is very, very strong. And all of the motion that is coming between now and next year is positive, forward-thinking motion. It's pushing you forward, and it's helping you achieve your dreams and your goals. So it might feel very busy, but I feel like you're able to do this with stability. What I'm getting is I think there are some things that you have to leave behind. At least that's kind of how I would put it. I feel like you put a lot of pressure on yourself. Even a year from now, I'm going to be perfectly honest, you still are going to put a lot of pressure on yourself. It's kind of your personality. You're the type of person who's very helpful, who kind of bites off more than you can chew sometimes. And it's not that you won't get it done, it's just that you'll end up working longer and harder than you need to. And so whenever I see this card, I know that this person is going to be very busy, but I also know that some of it is self-imposed. So yes, it might feel like your colleagues or your team or whatnot has very high expectations of you, and that is definitely the case, but you can push back, you can say no. It's totally okay to be the person who says no. And honestly, some of this stuff is stuff that you're going to leave behind. You're going to kind of get to the point over the next year where you think, if I'm not happy, I'm moving on. If I'm overworked, I'm moving on. And it's perfectly okay to do that. And I want you to know, sometimes we talk ourselves into a hole Like we see here, we have this woman who has a blindfold on and all of these swords around her, and she feels trapped. But the truth is you are not trapped. There is not a single part of you that is trapped. Nobody else owns you except for yourself. And so regardless of how guilty you might feel or how bad you might feel about certain things or about leaving an opportunity or leaving a company or even leaving a relationship, sometimes it has to happen. Sometimes that's what you need in order to move into this space of abundance, which is right around the corner for you. So be okay with being the one to get up and leave. Even if it feels really hard at the time, I feel that this next year is about reclaiming your power, and it's about stepping up and being okay with fighting off all of the, I'm just going to say animosity, or all of the friction and pushback that you might get. There are going to be people who don't agree with you. You might make decisions that people don't necessarily all agree with. Most people will, but there will be one or two, and they might be kind of hard people, people that want you to feel bad about the decision that you've made, but just let it go. You need to move on. I'm going to ask a little bit more about love in particular and see what comes through. The Empress. Ooh, nice. Ooh, okay. So what I can say is, yes, exactly. You have a very positive feeling with love. When I tap into your love energy, it feels like you are very happy in your relationship, also very stable. So I'm willing to bet that a lot of this stuff I've been talking about, especially with this kind of section, is more about career stuff. I feel like it's a team of people, a group of people, or maybe one or two people who just kind of try and keep you in a certain place, and that's not necessarily the best thing for you. So be willing to step out of that. With love, it really feels like you find the right person. The Empress is, first of all, someone who's very mature, you know, someone who loves nature, someone who is abundant in terms of ideas, in terms of creativity. I feel like you and the other person are very creative together. And this could be business opportunities in the future. It can also manifest in hobbies and talents that you both have. For some of you, I'm seeing a guitar. So if any of you play guitar or are into guitar at all, you know, I think you and your partner might share that as a passion, or it's something like you sing and they play guitar. Or, you know, it might just be a symbol for music. But whatever it is, we have a lot of positivity in this relationship. Definitely feels like if you don't know this person, you're meeting them quite soon, within the next 4 months, I think. There's success here. There's joy. This is the type of relationship where you want to tell everyone about it. You want to make it public knowledge. This is not something you're trying to close or hide behind. Anything else. I even feel like you might be posting a lot on social media about this person. It's the kind of feeling you get when someone says, I'm Facebook official, you know? So I feel like you'll be very happy in this relationship and you'll feel very fulfilled. We have the World here, and the World is very successful. This is an energy of wisdom. It's an energy of kindness, success, humility, and just having been through a lot. So for some of you, this does have to do with love. That's what I'm getting. For some of you, this stuff is love stuff, and it's okay to cut off whatever relationship you have that is not serving you today. The spirit guides, the angels want you to know that you are 100% protected if that is what you choose to do, because there's something better for you coming over the next year. Like I said, I think in the next 4 months you're going to meet this person if you don't know them already. If you do know them, then great. Just continue on this path. It's a path that isn't extremely easy to get to, but once you find this person and once you work hard on the relationship, this is a lot of success. This is a lot of enjoyment. So I'm just going to pull any last cards here from the Animal Spirit deck. See if anything comes through. Ooh, the Hawk. Okay. and the elk. Okay, so we have a lot of fire stuff going on here. Fire energy. This is either you or it's your partner. I think it's one of the two. Whatever it is, this year is going to feel intense, but it's okay because this year is giving you two things. It's giving you vision and it's giving you stability. When we see the hawk here, the hawk, as you know, the hawk flies above all of the fields and can spot a tiny mouse from very, very, very high up. And so this to me means that over this next year, you are developing insane vision. You have vision for exactly what you need out of your relationship, exactly what you want out of your career, and furthermore, you know how to get that. And so the hawk is a very fulfilling energy. It's also a leadership energy, but this is not the kind of leadership where I see you standing on top of a stage and telling everyone what to do. This is more an energy of a solo path. You know, hawks, I mean, I don't know anything about hawks, but I'm just going to say hawks seem to fly solo. Maybe they bring some stuff back to their family and their kids, but for the most part, they're solo flyers. And it feels like the vision and the foundation that you lay down is solo at the beginning. It's something you work on by yourself, but from that, you get the elk and you get this stability. And the elk is more of a partnering creature. The elk, you know, travels in a pack or a herd. And I think that, you know, because you put in a lot of effort in the first few months of this year, and because you work really hard to look within, you are able to bring this partnership into your life. And this, to me, is symbolizing your partner. The elk is a very stable partner. It's someone who is very wise. This is kind of symbolizing like this section here. So the world, the elk, I see these two as correlated. And I feel like the partner that you're bringing into your life is someone who is very stable, very loyal, very trusting, someone you feel you have a deep resonance with. And so I feel like by January 2022, you are 100% where you need to be in this relationship. And with your career, the truth is you will have walked away from some stuff that just didn't serve you. And so I think that you're growing, you're developing, you're changing a lot over this next year, but it feels very, very exciting. And I feel like you turn over the leaf that you're meant to and you develop this vision, which is amazing. All right, so these are the messages that I got for you today. And if this gave you clarity and guidance, please leave me a like and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can always share it if you feel so inclined. And if you would like a personal reading, you can always book using the links in my YouTube banner. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye. All right, group 3, welcome to your reading. So I have your cards here and I'm just going to shuffle them and let's find out where you're going to be 1 year from now. Your energy is so different from the other piles in a good way. I think it's a good thing, right? They're all good, but different in their own ways. Okay, so I'm just gonna share some initial messages. To me, it feels like there's a lot of entrepreneurs in this group. There's a lot of people that have big dreams and big goals. I feel like a lot of you have left behind things that were traditionally thought of as stable in pursuit of your major passions and in pursuit of things that you really care about. So with the Page of Wands, I know that you're building something. I know that you have the vision to do something. I don't think it's at its fruition yet. And so where you are a year from now is still working on this thing. You're still working on building it up, but it's more mature 1 year from now than it is today. What I will say is I think this is a pretty long-term project. So I think for some of you, we're looking into 5 years, 10 years. It's kind of the space between 5 to 10 years. For some of you, it's 8 years. That's what I'm getting. Very specific. And that is kind of the time at which you are going to be 100% financially stable, not having to rely on anyone or anything. So there might be kind of 2 things going on at one time, like you do your business, you also are using other avenues to make money, but whatever it is, you are following your path. This is your spiritual path. This is something that is a little bit unknown and is a little bit scary in some ways, and other people wouldn't necessarily follow the same journey, but it feels very rewarding, very fulfilling, and I'm very confident that you are in the right path, which is good. I'm just going to tell you right now, I think that over this upcoming year, there are a couple of roadblocks that seem a little bit hard to cross. It's almost like you're crossing water and there's not enough rocks to step on. And so you might have to iterate, you might have to change, you might have to come at it from a different angle, but ultimately I'm not concerned about this because you have the vision to do it, you have the passion to do it, and you have the drive. And for your group in particular, I feel that you are very driven people, and this is an intrinsic motivation that's coming from you. It's not an extrinsic motivation. So whatever goals you have, whatever ambitions you have, even if they take a little bit longer to manifest in material form, they're absolutely manifesting. I get very positive energy. So I'm going to ask for some more clarifying cards about where you are a year from now. Okay, it's so funny because so many people have gotten stuff about looking within. I think every single pile has gotten something about that. And so I feel like you're really growing and expanding, especially this year. You're growing in how you market yourself, how you sell yourself. And for a lot of you, I think this is a solo venture. For some of you, you're doing it on side of a job, but I just kind of get that although your job is cool and it's fulfilling in some ways, I kind of just see you being independent. I don't know why. It feels like you have an independent energy. You have an energy of someone who wants to do their own thing. That's all I can tell you. So I feel like you try a few different ways to balance your life out in terms of your career. It feels like you might have two things going on at once, like I said before. And so you might try a couple ways to go about that. You know, maybe you do a full-time job in addition to a side job, which is your business, or maybe you do your business fully and then you do freelancing on the side or something like that. So I feel like you have a couple iterations to figure out what works best for you. But I think this is good. It's kind of like trial and error, and you're able to move towards this more spiritual path. You're making money over the next year, which is good. What I'm getting is that it might be a little bit slow at first, but actually you really do, it's like you fluff up your value proposition and you get it to a place where people are excited about what you have to offer and they want it from you and you only. So this is a really good thing. It is the type of thing where people recognize that you're incredibly talented at what you do. And so even if it's a little bit slow at the beginning, it's okay because ultimately you are going to have this money and this is all in your future for you. You might also be tempted to save money a little bit over this coming year, especially over the next few months. I feel like some of you have to make some investments. It is either investing in technology for your business or it's just investing in something you need for your personal life, like a car or a phone or whatnot. I'm just making it up. You might have to spend money on this, and because of that, you're tempted to save. So just keep saving for now. Don't spend a lot of money. Don't go and do unnecessary shopping. I feel like you're going to need that money, so hold on to what you have for the moment. I actually also see partnerships for you, and I think some of these are financial partnerships. So if you are an entrepreneur listening to this video and you're looking for investment money, I do feel like you are going to get it, which is very positive. This is groundbreaking, actually. So I feel like you will get that. I also feel like because people start to really respect you for what you have to offer and for the value you provide, there are more people that seek you out for partnerships. Some of these are significant in that they become really long-term collaborative partnerships that you have with people, even kind of like a fellow business owner. Although I think you are going to be the only one to kind of control your business, so to speak. but it feels like you have people who are kind of partners or close colleagues in a sense, who really care about you and really want to help you, and that you are both on the same wavelength. I also think there are some larger entities that reach out to you, things like platforms, communities, stuff like that, and it's kind of like they want a piece of you, and you might dip in and out of that for a period of time, but ultimately you might decide to kind of do your own thing anyways. There's no harm in this though, because it's all meeting great, new, awesome people, so why not? But the King of Swords, it's going to be important to know when to draw the line, especially in terms of everyone wanting a piece of you. This is going to happen more and more and more over the next year. 1 year from now, you are more successful than you are today in terms of money, in terms of visibility, and in terms of partnerships. So it is important to draw the line somewhere. It is important to know that, you know, at the end of the day, you need a lot of energy in your own tank in order to help other people. So keep this in mind. I'm going to look into love in a second, but not quite yet. So just 1 minute. Just asking for any other clarifying messages. The peacock here is really about self-acceptance, self-confidence, and because of that self-confidence, you are kind of like a light and you radiate that out to other people. The peacock is a very giving person. It's someone who's extremely kind-hearted, someone who cares a lot about other people. And because you have this peacock energy, I feel like other people are going to absolutely flock to you this year. Kind of like when a peacock puts its feathers out and it looks very beautiful and everyone is looking at it and thinking it's gorgeous. This is kind of happening for you over this next year. So to answer the question behind the reading, 1 year from now, you have a lot more visibility than you have today. This is kind of like fame, and I've said this in a couple of readings, but it's kind of what I would call soft fame. It's not like we're at celebrity level yet, but we're at a level where people care about us, people are following us, people are listening to us. This is the level that you are going to be at over this coming year. So that's very exciting. And I feel like for a lot of you, it kind of feels like you make this breakthrough a bit later on this year, like around October. So it kind of feels like you work and you have a lot of vision up until then, but around October, it feels like things just start to open up and things start to become very visible. I find this fascinating because the High Priestess is usually about looking within. And while I think that will be important on your journey, I really have a strong feeling like you are gaining a lot of visibility externally this year. So keep this in mind. And you're not the only pile who's doing this, but for some reason, this is a theme today, visibility and rising in visibility. We also have the camel here. The camel is an extremely reliable creature. It's super loyal. It is also extremely sure of itself. And so I feel like this year you are once again growing very confident in your abilities, very confident in your offerings. And because of that, you bring with you a unique peace. It's like you feel very self-assured with who you are and where you are in life, and people are gravitating towards you because of this. So let's ask a little bit about love over this next year. See what's coming for you. Okay, we have the Page of Swords. Okay, Three of Cups. Okay, and Five of Wands. Okay, so let me put it this way. There are people who really like you this year because you are the peacock. You're beautiful, you're gorgeous, your heart is amazing. People really gravitate towards your energy. And there is a lot of success in terms of kind of putting yourself out there. Like I feel like this year you get more visibility and more interest than you have in previous years. And that's something that's very exciting. It also feels like very harmonious and something that you'll be really happy about because, you know, I mean, the last year has been very slow for a lot of people, so this year doesn't feel so slow. It feels like there's more opportunity. It feels like there's more people who are very interested in you. I feel like by January 22, 2022, however, you don't necessarily know exactly who your long-term life partner is. Now, this doesn't apply to everyone. It's just the message I'm getting now. I feel like you learn to be a little bit more critical and a little bit more hardcore about what your needs are. And because you have so much other stuff going on in your life over this year and towards January 2022, by that point in time, you know exactly what it is that you want. And some of you might already feel like you know exactly what it is that you want, but the truth is your career is flourishing in many ways. And so by January 2022, you are going to finally really get it and be able to articulate it. And because of that, that energy comes to you a lot more quickly in 2022. I honestly think there are a couple of people you might have to fight off. There's interest that comes to you that you don't necessarily want. There are people that kind of want a piece of you that you don't necessarily want to be in a relationship with. So keep that in mind. In any case, I'm going to ask if there's any final messages to leave you with. I knew it! This is the second time this happened today. I have a feeling like I have to give you final messages and then it's very positive. So I was asking specifically about love. You have the sun. The sun is coming out. You are protected in love. You are going to find your suitor. So there's a lot of interest. You are going to be able to articulate what you want. You will find happiness. Keep in mind, you might not know exactly who it is by January 2022. Some of you will, not all of you. But regardless, you have the sun. And so I feel like it is happening very, very, very soon after that. I know it might feel like a long way away, but it's totally worth it because I get that the person you end up with is like the sun. They are happy, they are joyful, delightful, very, very positive influence, and someone who understands all of your endeavors and all of the risks that you've taken and all of the things that you're going through. So be confident in this, trust in the universe, trust in your divine path, because the sun is coming out, these sunflowers are coming out, everyone is going to be happy and joyful, and you will find this person. So these are the messages that I got for you today, and I hope that it gave you some clarity and guidance. If you like this reading, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, you can share it if you feel so inclined, and if you would like a personal reading from me, please book using the links in my YouTube banner, and I will see you guys in the next video. Alright, thank you so much. Bye!